Hey, what's going on? Chuck, watching the ITXP. You know what? It's season 10, mofos. It's season 10. 10 years of this nonstop nightmare of a show. Not nightmare, I'm just teasing. The nightmare for me because I can't continuously be consistent with this content. And I'd like to be consistent with this content. I do want to be consistent. Make sure that you all get the information that I've been able to glean out of this 30 plus years of content, right? So here I am. I'm back at it. Just want to make sure that in 2025 I provide you with something that is meaningful, valuable, and insightful. So what I decided to do probably over the next couple of shows until I get my act together, you can see I don't have my green screen around. It kind of fell down. So I have to fix that. Look, these are real life challenges of the little streaming guy like myself. So I want to make sure that I start off the following episodes with an homage, if you may, to terrestrial radio, legacy media, and just reading Reddit questions. I did this before and I actually had a lot of fun with it. I figured I'd go through it again to make sure that I answer some of the questions that are lingering in the Reddit forums around IT career questions, sysadmin questions, and the like. There's a lot going on. Look, it's March of 2025. It's St. Patrick's Day. And a lot of people are having fun. A lot of people are enjoying their time today, but it's really a concerning time in terms of the state of the job market, at least in the US, probably for most other countries as well. And when it comes to technology jobs, it's challenging. The current administration is making it even that much more challenging for us tech folks. And a lot of people have been laid off. There are a lot more unemployed tech workers. There have been, even since .com bubble, I believe, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, even after 2008 financial crisis. I think this is the first time that tech industry is really going through this transformation. Now, yes, AI plays a role into it. It does. I think in one of my previous seasons, I talked about IT is dead, the rise of AI. It was mostly to demonstrate that AI is now playing an important role in your job today. You're a developer, most likely leveraging AI to enhance your code or to develop code at a faster pace than you have previously. My current organization embraced AI back in three, quickly ramped up to leverage the power of AI, not only internally, but on their products that they sell commercially. It's something that's going to continue to happen. You're seeing more and more larger organizations really embrace it. Mid-tier organizations trying to understand where it fits into their product line, and then startups just really taking off. Nonsense. Not nonsense. It's actually the next evolution, I should say, of technology. Right. And if we think about technology in terms of the academic sense, it's not just computers, right? It's a tool that helps civilization grow. And it's something that has to be done. Now, what does that mean for you? If you're not evolving, and I hope I've shown throughout the past 10 years that you need to continue to evolve to keep up with the rate of change, with the pace of change. I'm not saying that you should have jumped into ChatGPT when it first released and built your no, but you now have an opportunity, if you're following it since 22, to know more than what most people do in space. you're like me, you leveraged ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, whatever came out there, Midjourney, Dali, various Flux sites out there, right? Just for building art, for maybe something that you can leverage on your own book or something like that. There's now video generation, right? Built in some of these. I use IM. Studio is an audio generator. There's so many tools that should not prohibit you from taking your ideas and moving. And simple. Look, I'm down here in my basement. Been down here. Oh, actually, when I first started, I had a little mobile mic. I think it Panasonic. I can't remember. Audio quality was horrible, but I was putting out my ideas. I was doing it more consistently back then, but at some point in time, that consistency dropped off for a couple of reasons, right? Life, first and foremost. This is just a hobby for me to be anything commercialized. And I still feel that way. This is a hobby for me. But I do want to be more consistent. But again, life gets in the way. Had career changes, certifications that didn't go through, just schooling, received a master's throughout that time. And all the while, I kept thinking, well, I really need to continue creating and putting out content because I still feel there's a gap in this space in folks providing their insight. Now there's other folks out there, Network Chuck and things like that, and folks like that are providing insights into how to learn different technologies and that. But there are fewer and fewer shows that talk about people's journeys, and I think everybody has a story to tell. And yeah, your story may not be finished, but really no one's story is finished until they're buried in the ground or whatever you decide to do with yourself after you leave this plane, right? It's one of those things where content creation is challenging. There's always that desire to continue developing content, to continue showing people what you're doing. I have a TikTok account. I did goofy things on there again because I just felt like my brand needed to be. I did the 75 hard challenge 2 years ago. I threw up some AI generated videos using my voice. So again, I gave permission to AI to use my voice. Scary as that may be, because now if it gets hacked, somebody has my voice. You don't even need to hack it, right? They'll just scrape the web for my voice. They've done it for Joe Rogan. They've done it for Elon Musk and various other celebrities. Why can't they do it for me for nefarious purposes? These are the times that we live in. You shouldn't be afraid of it. You should just really acknowledge it and understand how to navigate these. So with that, I just wanted to let you know that I'm still here. I continue to try to revamp myself or continue to change myself. I changed the logo. I haven't changed it yet, but I changed the logo again using AI tools. Because again, it's easier for me. I don't have a lot of money to put towards this, right? But what I can, as opposed to gambling the money away. But there are things that have happened over the course of time where I want to make sure that I leverage the tools that are available to me for the things that I like to do. This is one of the things that I like to do. Because I think it's helpful. It's helpful for somebody out there, if it's one person, to glean some insight into maybe they're on the same career trajectory. They want to pivot their career into something totally different. I don't know. But if you really think about what you do and how you want to improve yourself, you really have to become consistent and dedicated to the craft. Now I'm dedicated, but I'm not consistent. Again, because something that I do when I feel like I have time. And now I have time. 5 minutes. So I'm going to get done and go to my meeting. That's after this. So a lot of things have changed. I wanted to give you some updates on maybe some of the topics that I've talked about in the past. The first one is cryptocurrency. I think I've talked about this previously in the sense of blockchain and kind of the hurrah around this. Now it doesn't really align with your job, but it may, because blockchain is something that's here to stay. And if you were around in the mid to late 2020s and early 21, I may have talked about some of the crypto coins I purchased. That I do have to say that I did dump a lot of the coins that I held onto from that time period. Did make some money on maybe like two of them. I lost money on others. And I held on to some of the few, or I believe will stick around for a while, namely the Bitcoin, XRP, because I think it's important to have an investment in a currency market, that term loosely, or the off chance that it may make me some money at the end of. If you were burnt by that, don't feel badly. A lot of people were burnt. I was burnt by a number of NFTs that I still have. The biggest one is Z.Run. I lost all my horses in there. I had 10 horses there. And if you're familiar with me, I am betting on the horses, and I lost those horses. God, those NFTs are gone. Won't tell you how much I spent on those, but it was an amount that hurt a little bit, and it left a foul taste in my mouth. But I think it was an investment, something that I was trying to help develop and build. I don't have anything to show for it. Just the fact that, hey, I was part of that original community to help build the next iteration of Zedrun called Zed Champions. It is what it is, and these are the things that you really come into in terms of when you're trying to do investments in new technologies, and no different than investing in something on a GoFundMe page. I have a story about GoFundMe. Oh boy, I think it was a 20, maybe around the same time I started this. I bought into this GoFundMe around this little drone that it was gonna do this, it was gonna do that, and I think I dropped $250 in. I got the little drone, and I'm like so excited to play around with it. And I was like, it wasn't doing what it said it would do. I was like, maybe it's me, and I'm sitting out there with my wife and and my kids, and I'm showing them, and it's like going this way and that way, and then come to find out that it was all a scam, right? Videos that they put out there modified to and something that I never do. So you get scammed. $150. That could have been nice dinner out with the family. Back then, probably 2 nights of dinner out with the, right? Can you imagine less than 10 years ago, $250 would have been probably 2 nights out with the family. And now it's barely, actually $250 now is an average. Yeah, an average week of groceries for me is $200. Back then, that was 2 weeks worth. Insane. But anyway, I've been scammed, right? But these are the lessons that you learn. These are some of the things that you have to acknowledge when you investments. So when you're cryptocurrency, you have to acknowledge that you already lost that money, even in the stock market. So that's that. My degrees. What have I done with my degrees? Obviously, I do have my own business from a consulting standpoint. This is part of my business, and from a professional standpoint, leveraging that degree to do some networking. But I from where I'm at today in my life, I really do want to spend more time with my family. My girls soon going to go to college, so I want to ensure that I'm here for them for the next couple of years. And then once college, then they'll have enough time, and they'll be living their own life, right? Yes, they'll be coming back and forth, but they'll be life for the most part. I don't have to take them to basketball, dance, or drama, or lacrosse, or whatever. Right? They'll be doing their own thing because they can. I don't have to be there right now. I want to enjoy these times and where I can take them. I continue to build that connection and bond with them. These times, years that I have left with them, they'll be off on their own. Young adults living their own life, hopefully making the right decisions. Probably making some bad decisions. I'll do, and I will be primed and ready to do what I need to do after that. I did help consult in a startup company. Again, just leveraging my connections, trying to do things that will help not only me, but other people. My expertise, experience, I should say. I don't consider myself an expert in much, expert in a lot, but for the most part, it's just my experience I've gone through, provide some insights, things like that. But with that, I know I've said a lot. I'm already 20 minutes in, and I haven't gotten to the meat of what I talk about today. I'm going to pay homage, like I said, to legacy media, traditional terrestrial radio, where the radio host would read letters and answer questions, and almost like a Dear Abby, but not so much. And I'm going to leverage the forum that we all like to use, our good friend Reddit. I love Reddit. It took me forever to get onto Reddit. Things where I was just like, I'm not really. It's not for me. A board guy, a forum guy, a website forum guy, and then I was like, let me just jump on here. I was like, wow, this is really good. So I'm going to take some IT career questions, and I'm sorted by new. And I like to go through this and answer. Sometimes I respond to my other account. I don't respond from this account because, again, I don't want to promote anything from the show. I want to be as organic as possible, and we'll go there. So the first one is really interesting. JK_NJ, is that New Jersey? Recently posted, get A+ or start studying for the CCNA. The question is, I recently started as a part-time IT technician for the township library. They will reimburse me for any certification test. Since I'm already in the IT field, I'm wondering if it's worth my time to take the A+ cert tests or go ahead and start studying for the CCNA certification. I'm also finishing up the local CC for my associates in information systems and cybersecurity. I also have previous experience from the CC work, study job, and participating in my high school's IT internship program. Any advice is appreciated. Now, I see this question asked a lot. Is the A+ still relevant? Or do I do another certification? Man, that is a good question. And let me start off with, is the A+ still relevant? Yes. I think it's still relevant. Will it get you that job in the Fortune 500? No, I don't think it will. Will it help you get a job in maybe local government, a small company, maybe you start your own consulting company, things like that? Yes, I believe that will help. But it shouldn't be your only one. It's a good starting off point. It's a good starting off point to really validate some of the knowledge that you have around the A+. Now, the A+ of today, not the A+ that I took. Right? The A+ of today is a lot different. But I think it's a good starting point if you're going down that path and somebody's going to pay for it. Yeah, sure. Why not? Now, if you're asking me whether you want to do the A+ or CCNA, I would tell you, no doubt, do the CCNA. Now, CCNA, from my understanding, is really fallen off the track a bit. Obviously, Cisco is probably falling off the track in terms of networking leadership. If Juniper Networks out and things like that now. but I think it's still a good foundation from a networking aspect. And the reason I say this is because as you progress through your career, the one thing that the one skill I should say that you really never I don't even know what I'm trying to say. The one skill that really never falls out of flavor, I should say, is networking. Because networking is the backbone of all technology. Backbone of all technology. So if you don't understand networking, you're going to be behind the eight ball. If your career is geared towards, let's say, cybersecurity, but more of an audit type thing, or let's call it admin type work, and no, you don't need to do CCNA. Right? If your career path is project management, yeah, CCNA A+ should be fine for you. But if you do want to progress in the fields of cybersecurity, pen testing, cybersecurity, cloud security, just even cloud in general, then yeah, having a good fundamental understanding of networking will be super beneficial for you. If you want to go the cloud route, getting more than a fundamental understanding of networking is going to be extremely beneficial for you. There are many people that I know within the cloud space that don't understand networking and they falter. They may be great DevOps folks, but if they don't understand networking, there's a problem, right? So I think the CCNA over the A+, 100%. If you don't know where your career path is going to be, start with the A+, and then that may help you decide. One thing I do want to point out is, and I've said this at the last ISC Squared conference, ISC2 conference that I went to, and we were at a forum talking about entry-level jobs in the cybersecurity space. Cybersecurity is not an entry-level job. It's not. You need to have more than a basic understanding of core technologies within tech to be a good cybersecurity person. Plain and simple. So when this person says, they're already working toward associates at their community college for information systems and cybersecurity, I would say forego the A+, definitely go CCNA, because that concentration in networking will help you along any career path that you decide to do. Technology, honestly, even software engineers should have a better than fundamental understanding of networking, because there's a lot of software engineers that have no clue how things connect, nor do they want to. But if they do have that understanding, they could probably experience. All right. So thank you, JK_NJ. Next is, this is a good one. I am going objective_voice_6608 says, I'm going to Strayer University, but I'm concerned I made the wrong choice. Question. I've been taking courses online at Strayer University, but none of the certificates I have earned are industry recognized. They are certificates from test out. Is this normal when working towards an IT degree? Whew. This is one of the long debated questions around, am I at the right school? Is school for me? Yeah, I'm paying this much money, yada, 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 yada. One of the things that I have to say to you is two things. Is it a for-profit school or is it a not-for-profit school? If it's a for-profit school, then you probably should be looking elsewhere. Plain and simple. If it's a not-for-profit school, you should be looking at the program itself and ask questions around certain things within the programs, like certifications. What certifications are included in the program? Is it an industry recognized certificate. Do I have to pay for the exam, or do you proctor the exam for me? And you pay, and I was part of my fee taking the course. So in this case, Strayer University, my understanding, it is a for profit. I think so. Yeah, somebody writes it in there already. Um, and they're taking certificates from Test Out. I don't even know what that is. Look that up. I don't know what is Test Out. Coursewell Technology Test Out. Let's see. So Google. So it looks like it's part of CompTIA now. Certifications. CompTIA. So it looks like they have their own certifications. Is that true? That's weird. Pro certification. It looks like it's an A plus certification. Wow. Oh, okay. Okay. I see what this is. All right. So these aren't industry certifications. These are skills based certification. CompTIA and Test Out combined together. And they're doing, yeah, they're doing, these are skills based certifications. So are they valid? They're valid in the sense that somebody says, oh, you have enough knowledge to be a network pro, or you have enough knowledge to understand fundamental concepts of network. You have the fundamental knowledges of cyber defense or ethical hacking. Yeah, I guess so, but can I just pay for these myself? I don't know. Can I pay for these myself if I go cert master login? Oh, it's part of CompTIA. So if I go to CompTIA, this is the beauty of doing this live, right? If I go to CompTIA, my applications, Tech Plus, Security Plus, right? I had the Security Plus. Maybe, I don't know. It's weird. Honestly, if you're paying for a school to teach you or to educate you on certain concepts, and they're not industry recognized certifications like either CompTIA or ISC2, SANS or Cisco or IBM or whatever, I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for that. I'm going to go out there and find the resources myself and do the industry recognized certification. It's unfortunate because I know Strayer kind of pushes itself as, get a 6-figure salary in 6 months and things like that. Not in this market. So yeah, so sorry, Objective Voice 6608. I would say dump that school and go somewhere else. I'm a big fan of WGU. I'm an alumnus. So I think that gives you more bang for your money, especially if you can get it quickly. I'm a big fan, but I also, University of Phoenix is also good. The other one, DeVry. I know a couple of folks that graduated from that. Not your brick and mortar, but things that are recognized within various companies. SNHU. I had my undergrad from SNHU, although I don't agree with that format. After I went to WPU, I was like, oh, this is much better format. Really depends. But anyway, Strayer University, I would stay away from if you're not getting industry recognized certifications and they're just test out certifications. Sorry. My 2 cents there. Find another school or do it on your own. Next one. OK-Writing 7462 says, advice from project and ops managers. Hi all, I'm currently a service desk coordinator looking to step into project management in the next 3 months. I don't have any IT qualifications, only an ITIL cert and around 7 years in first level technical roles. I graduated in hospitality management, which is how I ended up my first technical role as a POS support consultant. Stupid mouse. I'm assuming that's point of sale. I'm familiar with SQL, and I supported SaaS solutions. Now I'm a little old, so going back to get a tech degree is not really desirable. In the long term, I'm thinking about getting my post grad in something along the lines of ops management and eventually an MBA. The POS industry is also a little niche in SA, so I'm looking to the fintech industry. Right now, what would you say is a highly valuable cert I can get to assure companies that I'm capable? Definitely looking to get cert in project management, but not sure if it is a must, if it must be technical. I see a lot of contradictory advice about coding as a PM. Just for context, I have a very analytical brain, but I also have no interest in software dev. I can also learn pretty much anything. Please help, and thanks for reading. So this is a good question, and this is a good question for folks that are really wanting to break into tech, attracted to that money, and they always see things about certifications and the like. My advice to this person: sit down and look at what projects that they've been a part of, what role they played in that project. Because they may already have hours within a project to kind of sit for something like the PMP. Or there's the associate PMP, the one below the P, right? Those that want to break into tech and they may be technical, maybe older, project management is actually a really good way to get into it because you don't need a certificate for the most part. You don't need a certificate. You can jump onto smaller scale projects like stations, even as a contract role. So doing that 2-job lifestyle, right? We talked about early on overemployment. You can do that for 6 months to a year to kind of get better prepared for project management. I don't have a project management certification. I've run a bunch of projects. And I've done it for myself. My current company, my previous companies, even side gigs. I've run projects, and you don't have to be technical. You have to understand. You do have to read through the bullshit. Let's put it. You do have to read through the bullshit. Project management is something that you can actually get into without a technical background. Now, will it help? Yes, a technical background will help. Now, I can tell you, I'm working with a project management who's not very technical, but he's a good project manager because he asks the right question. Right? If he doesn't understand something or if a process to him doesn't make sense, he'll ask questions, but he's not technical at all. If you go back to him technically, he'll just be like, I don't know what you mean, but does it answer this question? Right? And he'll ask back. Right. Again, really good project managers are that they will have the attention to detail that project management needs to be able to lead projects, right? Because again, you need to be to make sure things are in budget, on time, and you have enough resources, right? So if you're that person that can look at the bigger picture and then drill down into finer details of things, yeah, project management also have to build reports. You can't be a scrub and not build reports around what you're. That's going to be key. So if anything, any technical ability probably should be around building report, Power BI, Tableau, or any other product platform. That's going to be key. Not kind of. That's going to be key to be a successful project manager. Being able to deliver those to senior leadership, to your leadership team, whomever. That's going to be key for you. So somebody that only has an ITIL cert, a coordinator, looking to jump into project management, yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think you need to go into certification route at this point. If we look at the PMP certification, from project management, which I think everybody and their mother has, except me. This specialized all professional certifications, program management, portfolio management now. There used to be like one below the PhD. What happened to it? Yeah, there was used to be one. That's sort of high school, 35 hours of project. Here you go. 35 hours of project management education or right. Um, this cap. Oh, here it is. Certified associate in project management. Start with that. Start with the certified associate in project management. Do that, right? Because no experience required, 150 question. That'll be right fit for this person. It's okay writing 742. I think that'd be the best way to go for them. Okay, writing 7462. And have a good night. Next one up on the list. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Job opportunity lost due to manager's exploitation. How many of us have been through that? Imaginary Doctor 3524 writes, switching jobs for the first time should be an exciting and rewarding experience, but for me, it turned into a nightmare. I secured a new job with a 125% hike and was eager to join, but my current employer made a transition impossible. Initially, my manager assured me that I could opt for a payout to shorten my notice period. Trusting her words, I resigned, completed all onboarding formalities for my new role, and received my offer letter. However, after my resignation, everything took a turn. My manager suddenly refused to release me, citing the lack of a replacement. Even after a new replacement was found, she kept delaying the process, insisting on unnecessary approvals and waiting for the new employee to be physically present in the office. Each time I requested an update, she misled me with half-truths, exploiting my trust and lack of experience in job transitions. What's even more frustrating is that I never had any misunderstandings or conflicts with my manager. In fact, the first real conversation I had with her was when I submitted my resignation. Despite that, she deliberately withheld information and strung me along, ultimately costing me the opportunity. Questions that keeps haunting me is, what did she gain from this? No personal grudges, no conflicts. She went out of her way to sabotage my career move. Just to exert power, did she genuinely not care about the impact of her actions? Due to these delays, I lost the job at the new company. I lost a job as the new company filled the position. My manager had been transparent from the start. I could have explored alternatives. Now, I'm left with no choice but to complete my notice period while searching for another opportunity, hoping for a fair chance to move forward. Okay. Don't know the age of the person, and that's fine. Manager is not your friend. Work is not your family. This is a business. Okay? The business. You put in your notice. And I'm trying to figure this out because a lot of this seems suspect to me, and a lot of these are karma farming, which I get. If you put in your 2 weeks, how did you onboard to the new role? Right? Like I don't follow this a little bit, right? Because I secured a new job in the same company, right? Because he said he resigned. They said they resigned, completed all onboarding formalities for the new role, and received the offer letter. This seems like an internal transfer, which are two different responses, right? So if this is an external, you're leaving for another company, new job, company, blah blah blah, then you put in your 2 weeks. Then you put in your 2 weeks, you leave. Unless there's a contract saying you can't leave. but you should know that before you resign. You all should follow. You should also understand your contract and what you're obligated to do. Decide to leave, right? Oh, it is a different company. Oh, it is okay. So it's a different company. OP, Imaginary Doctor 524 updated a response. It's a different organization. So your manager is not your friend. Your job is not your family. You put in your 2 weeks notice, you leave. Plain simple. You're young. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to burn bridges and things like that. Heard me time and time again. Sometimes you have to burn bridges. If this manager was making your life hell, burn bridges. Say, you know what? I'm leaving now. Bye. I'll forego my week's pay or whatever it is. Bye. Sometimes you may not be in that position, but you set a resignation time date. That's your last day. If that manager is being such a problem, escalate, include HR. And say, this is my final day. This is my final day. Sometimes you may have to even threaten an employment lawyer. Now, each country, each state is different, right? In the U.S., each state is different in how things go. But first and foremost, a former employer cannot say anything negative about you when a new employer calls for a reference. So have to validate title, maybe salary at some point. I don't even know if they can do that now anymore. Title and length of employment. Right? If they do anything more than that, then you can engage I'm going to take this to an employment lawyer type discussion. But make sure you bring HR in first. This person, this manager may not be following the rules of the organization. Feel like something's amiss, always include HR. Just go whoop, and copy that person, that manager. Go, hey, Sally's not playing ball. What's her deal? I'm leaving on this day. And I know a lot of it comes with youth and potentially reputation and things like that. If you're going in the same industry, okay, I get that. But again, this is a business. To say this, I'm going to sound like a broken record. You are the CEO of You Inc. Treat yourself like a business. You're providing a service. You're terminating that service on this date. That's when I'm going to terminate a service. Thank you. Once you get into that mindset, all this other stuff is just noise. Just noise. Stop falling for the noise. Stop it. Just don't fall for a noise. If they had to do a layoff, you would have been gone 2 seconds. I've been through that. I've seen it. So I'm sorry. Imaginary Doctor. Get with the program. No, just, lessons learned. Take it as a lessons learned. All right. It's probably the last one. I want to get into IT and eventually transition to IM cybersecurity. Where do I start? Holy shit. This is holy cow. Impressive Car 8952 says, hey everyone, I'm looking to break into IT with the goal of becoming an identity and access management analyst, but I'm not sure where to start. I don't have any prior experience. I want to build a strong foundation and follow the right steps to get there. From what I've researched, it seems like learning IT fundamentals is the best step. Would CompTIA A+ be worth getting? Or should I focus on more Microsoft technologies like Active Directory and Azure AD, since IAM revolves around managing user access? I also plan to set up a home lab with virtual machines to get a hands-on experience with Windows and Linux environments. Since IAM involves authentication permissions and security policies, I know networking and security basics are important. Would CompTIA Network Plus and Security Plus be useful? Or should I focus on more learning identity providers like Okta, Ping Identity, and CyberArk? Are they good hands-on labs or beginner-friendly IAM resources? I'm also wondering what kind of entry-level IT jobs would best prepare me for an IAM analyst role. Should I aim for help desk, IT support, or sysadmin role first? Is there a way to move directly into IAM? Are there any beginner-friendly IAM certifications? Or should I work towards something like Microsoft SC 300 Identity and Access Administrator or CIM Certified Identity and Access Administrator? If you work in IAM, how do you get started? What skills or certs made the biggest difference for you? Any advice or resources would be greatly appreciated. Man, that's a lofty goal, and that's a great goal. Here's someone that says they know what they want to do. I want to be IAM. I want to be an IAM analyst. That's my passion, to be an IAM analyst. That's what I want to do. I just love identity and access management. I want to live and breathe CIA triad. Oh, yeah, fuck yeah. Pops open a beer and chugs it and throws it out the window. Right? It's like, so impressive car 8952. Yes, and yes. Yes, and yes. Everything you can and need to learn about IAM, do it. Where do you begin? Most of us started with Active Directory. Most of us started with Novell. Some of us started with Active Directory. I would start with Active Directory. I think it gives a good understanding of the directory and structure and access. But you can't forget about the cloud. So start up your own account in AWS, Azure, and GCP. Minimal costs to get those started. You get, I think, 60 days with Azure AD or Entra ID at this point. Think for free. Quote me on that. But learn about the roles in there or leverage the Microsoft Learn training, again, for free. AWS has a bunch of training for free. GCP, if you get a GCP developer account and then link your Cloud Skills Boost account to that, get 35 credits a month for free. There are plenty of forums out there to talk about IAM. It is a little bit nuanced across all the environments. Again, AD, AWS, Entra ID, GCP, Okta, Ping, CyberArk. Now, Okta, Ping, CyberArk, identity providers. Again, they have their own little nuances, but I think if you understand Active Directory, IAM, and AWS, Azure, GCP, you'll be well on your way to getting a job somewhere. Now, focus on certs alone. That'll probably get you in the door somewhere, but you have to really understand fundamental idea of IAM and the technologies around it, right? It's taken off to kind of its own living, breathing world, IAM. So you have to understand, yes, the policies and things like that and how they apply. But if I were Impressive Car 8952, I would focus solely on cloud providers at this point. Because then once you get that down, the Windows and Linux and Active Directory side, I think will come a little bit more easier. You'll probably scratch your heads like, why did they do it this way? But I think you'll be in a better position if you start with the cloud IAM versus something like Active Directory. My opinion, based on where the market is now, yes, there's still some Active Directory positions open, but they're not entry level for the most part that I've seen because I keep an eye at least. Maybe it's because of my search filters, but it's a good aspirational goal to get to, and it's definitely achievable. Definitely achievable. But I would start with cloud IAM. I would go to AWS, Microsoft Learn, AWS training. So if I go to Amazon IAM, boom, it started. You can log in once you have your account. Here's resources, best practices. documentation, Fire FMA, everything you need to learn is here. Microsoft Learn. I think they talked about certification that they want to get. Yes. Right. Designing authentication authorization solutions. Yes. Just start learning and start practicing in your own little labs. Again, start off with Cloud IAM. And then go from there. Certs. Everybody wants certs, but if you can't do shit, then the certs aren't going to help you. So build a portfolio. Show somebody what you've done. Build a website with your portfolio in there. Record some shit that you did. Build a podcast, like something that shows that you have some knowledge around. Right? Write a book. Like, it's something that everybody says, oh, search. Yeah, but if you can't do shit, nobody's going to want you. So I think for Impressive Car 8952, they're definitely on the right path. I wouldn't focus on certifications. I would focus on IAM Cloud. Pick a cloud provider. Pick Azure. That's a growing one. That's the one that everybody's kind of migrating to because Microsoft's making a big push to attract some of the AWS work. But definitely start with Cloud IAM and go from there. And I think you're well on your way to being successful in your goal. And again, that was a prime. Let me go back to that. This is a prime example of setting a goal. And now this person, Impressive Car 8952, all they need to do is they need to set up a plan and execute on that plan and stay and have that discipline to stay on track. Plain and simple. So again, a lot of this stuff shouldn't be taken as gospel. It's just my experiences and my things that I've gone through over the course of my 30-year career at this point. So it's something that experience tells me these things. Your experience will vary. Not may, it will vary. So I want to make sure that I'm clear with that. These aren't 100%. You need to follow this path. No, it's, you're asking me, this is what I would do. If I were to do it all over again, this is what I would do. I've made a lot of mistakes in my career. A lot of mistakes. A lot of time because I didn't want to listen to anybody because I'm an asshole. Stubborn. But once you learn mistakes, kind of keep them in the back of your head, and you want to make sure others don't fall for those same mistakes. So I want to make sure that you understand that as we continue going. I like answering these questions, and I probably will respond to some of these in a different account because I think they're really important questions. And I think there are a lot of people that are struggling to figure out what their next move. And if you don't have a plan, if you don't have that focus, where you're going to go in the next 6 to 12 months. Maybe unemployed and you're like, holy fuck, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, I've been there. And sometimes you just got to buckle up and just find something and just go to continue looking at what do I use now? Indeed, built in I've stopped using LinkedIn. I stopped using Dice. Google searches for jobs and just look at the different contract jobs. Seeing what you can get there. Yeah, do contract for a while. May like it. So, and I know Google's talking to me. I don't want you, Google. Shut up. So, let me turn off the mic there. So, I'm back. I'm hopefully, again, I will do these every Monday, answering these Reddit questions until I come up with concrete that I want to talk about in terms of the technology career path. I hope you enjoyed this. I will talk to you next time. Everybody enjoy your week. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Take care.